If your bank received a letter that they thought was from someone pretending to be you, would you want them to let you know? Your feeling and your answer right now is why DMARC was created. Let's talk about that. Brought to you by mysites.guru. Do you have a Joomla site? Of course you do. Head on over to mysites.guru and get a free site audit for it. Hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too. Thanks for tuning in to Maintenance Monday number 285 here in the Basic Joomla Tutorials YouTube channel, where I show you my favorite extensions, tools, and tips for building and maintaining Joomla sites. I also work on Joomla sites, build them, maintain them, migrate them. If you're looking to hire someone short-term or long-term, or just to get you out of a spot, send me an email, tim@cybersalt.com, and let's talk. Okay, let's turn our attention to the screen. Why am I talking about this topic today? Well, today is February the 5th, 2024, and as of February 1st, 2024, Gmail and Yahoo require you to have DMARC set up on your domain if you are sending them more than 5,000 emails in a day. Now, if that's not you, you still should watch this video because these requirements could change in the future, so why not just get it all covered now? All of these links will be in the video description below. All right, so why are we talking about that? Yes, Gmail and Yahoo DMARC requirements. Here's the specifics right here. Anyone sending more than $5,000 a day into either of the world's largest mailbox providers, here's what you need to do. I'll leave that for you to read it, but we're also going to look at that right now. Now, first of all, what is DMARC? DMARC, which stands for Domain-Based Message Authentication, Reporting, and Conformance, is an email authentication policy and reporting protocol. It builds on the widely deployed SPF and DKIM profiles. How does DMARC work? A DMARC policy allows a sender to indicate that their messages are protected by SPF and or DKIM and tells the receiver of the emails that you're sending what to do if they get an email that's pretending to be from you, not using SPF or DKIM. I'm going to include a link about what DKIM is and also what SPF is. But for now, if we use that bank illustration, DKIM and SPF are like things you have in place to authenticate who you are with your bank, like an example of your signature or a code that you enter when you log onto their website, or if you're talking to a teller online, a secret code that you give. That is proving who you are, that it really is you. And what DMARC is that if someone pretends to be you, what do you want the bank to do? So if someone sends an email without SPF or DKIM, pretending to be from you, from your domain, what do you want the receiver to do? All right, so let's look at some tools that we're going to be using to get ourselves set up with a DMARC record on our domains. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to MX Toolbox and to their DMARC tool. Now, I have a domain here, one of my domains, demohall.com. I've actually removed the DMARC record, and all we have to do is just check, and you will see, lo and behold, yes, there is no DMARC record for the demohall.com domain. All right, that's a domain that I put some sites I'm working on so that clients can preview them. All right, so now, what are we going to put in our record? Well, let's go to this page here, to the DMARC guide.globalcyberalliance.org, links in the description below, and we're going to put our domain in here, and we're going to start. And let's just go through the steps together to look at some of the options. So look at the options that you can have in a DMARC record. We'll click Next, and we're presented with a question. What should the policy level for DMARC be? When someone sends an email that's pretending to be from us, or looks like someone's pretending, do we want to just do nothing? Do we want it to be quarantined so that the receiving company would put it in a junk folder, or should they just reject it? I'm going to select quarantine. Let's go next. Where should aggregate reports be sent? When you send emails to these companies, they will put together a report about the mail that they received and how much of it looked fake and various information like that, and you have to specify somewhere for them to send a report. So let's just put an email address in here. Let's send it to webmaster@demohall.com. Now, If you are managing this for a bunch of clients and you want all the DMARC reports to come to you, you want to watch the video to the end so I can show you how to set that up, how you can use an address that is different than the domain that you're setting the DMARC up for. All right, so send aggregate reports to that address. Next, where should forensic reports be sent? This is optional and we'll add the rough tag to the policy. These XML reports will only be generated if the receiving side generates these kinds of reports. So you might not even get reports from some companies. But let's just, for safety's sake, to have everything in here, again, we'll use the same demohall.com. Hey, and now you can go previous if you're wondering if you typed something wrong. Yeah, okay, got that right. Let's go next. Now, DMARC policy for subdomains. So demohall.com is the main domain, but let's suppose that I had a bunch of clients that didn't want to register domains, and they had websites at bob.demohall.com and tim.demohall.com, and I was letting them send out email addresses through those domains. So for instance, it would be like contact@bob.demohall.com. So basically, what is the policy for mail coming out from subdomains? Mail that comes from subdomains, none, quarantine, or reject. So if it looks like someone's faking it from a subdomain, what should they do? Now, so for instance, if you let nobody send anything out from subdomains, no mail should go out from subdomains, you would just say reject. So why don't we say that? All right, the remaining options are not required, but can be adjusted if necessary. So let's take a look at these just so you see the control that you have. Because once we've got a record set up, you can use that over and over again, making minor adjustments, and you could even just use something basic. All right, when should the error report be generated? I'm just going to leave that default. 2, alignment mode for DKIM, strict or relaxed. Strict is the sender's domain name must match the domain in the DKIM header exactly, and if it varies in any way, a report should be generated. Or relaxed, default is not defined, allows for any subdomain defined in the DKIM header. All right, so we'll leave it at strict. Likewise, same thing with alignment for SPF. You have those two similar options. What percentage of messages are subject by the DMARC policy? So if you were sending out 100,000 emails, maybe you just want a sample of them. So you could just say, instead of 100%, you could say, hey, just sample 5% of the emails and let's see if we can catch these rascals in the act on one of those. I will leave that at 100% though. Format of reports generated. Do you want them to come AF, RF, relaxed? Default value is not defined. Format is defined by RFC. I really don't know what that means. But basically, you're going to get a report and you open it up. I have to look into that more. Reporting interval seconds. How often do you want to get a report from these companies that you're sending mail to? And the default is 86,400 seconds or 24 hours. And if you wanted to make it longer, you can convert hours to seconds converter down here. So if you wanted to do every 48 hours, we put 48 in, and it's 172,000, and you'd get that every 48 hours. But we'll leave it at 86,400. Now we go finish, and we'll see here that we have the content that is going to go into our record in our DNS zones for adding a DMARC. And here's all the information, the code that we need. Now we're going to copy this, all right? And I'm going to just paste that off page here into a offsite here into a different place where I can, and you know what? That's not copying. Oh, select, I'm going to just right click and copy that. All right. I'll leave these mistakes in because you'll run into them too. And now we have the option we could start over and do another one. But I've got this copied and ready to use next. Now what we need to do is we need to set up those zones. And I'm going to show you how to do it in two places. One on Cloudflare and then one in the zone editor in cPanel. And between these two, you're going to see how to do it on variations for your web hosting accounts. All right, so here we are in Cloudflare at the demohall.com. Now, I do not run my DNS for demohall.com through Cloudflare, but I did have the zones imported in here so you could see how to add to Demohall. So let's just pretend that Demohall is actually being run through Cloudflare. All right. what I'm going to do is with it, add it there. I'm going to go to the DNS, and you're going to see up here, here's the zones for demo hall, but you're going to see here, hey, look, and this is new, it's in beta, use wizard to add a DMARC policy. All right, so this is not working super great right now, but this is how you can add your zone here anyways using this. So I'm going to click here to use the wizard to add a DMARC policy. I'm going to enable it, and it suggests one. Text, DMARC, and V equals DMARC. And for the address that things get sent to, it's a very basic one. They have this set up to go to your cloud, whatever address is your Cloudflare account. All right. I have found that if you try to edit this here, it doesn't work really well. So I'm going to just edit this suggestion, and it gets added. And now I can go back to the DNS. I can scroll down, and there's the DMARC. Now, a quirky thing right now, and remember, this tool's in beta for Cloudflare. You see the wizard up here still wants to add a DMARC policy, but we just did that. That can be confusing. Look at down here. The record is here, but for some reason, there are quotes at the beginning and end, right? And so I'm going to go into edit, and I'll just show you just quickly here. I'm going to take out those quotes. All right. Save. And now up at the top, we don't get prompted for that anymore. All right. So the wizard thing goes away. Same thing happens if you use their SPF wizard. I'm not sure what the deal is, but again, it's in beta right now. Anyways, let's go back down to our text record here, because this is not what we want. We want the one from what we just copied from here. All right. In fact, we can go back to that window and get that. So let's go edit. Now here we have text of the type record, underscore DMARC is the name. The time to live is auto. You can set that at 1 minute hours. It's just how often this record gets checked back. So we'll leave it auto. And then here's the content, v DMARC 1 and that. Now let's delete that. Let's go back to this other window, and let's get the V. In fact, I'm going to even include everything between the quotes. All right. We'll copy that. We're going to go back here and paste. But now remember, Cloudflare does not like the quotes. So we'll take out the quotes. But this is exactly the code that we just came up with. Our DMARC, quarantine, send to webmasterdemohall.com, webmasterdemohall.com, SP reject, add kim equals SRI. That's all the settings that we just set up here. All right, and now we can go save, and let's go back to MX Toolbox tool and test, and it's not showing there. Why? Because the zone is the DNS is actually being run through my cPanel, not Cloudflare. All right, so let's see how to set up DMARC in a cPanel zone editor. Here's the cPanel control panel, web hosting control panel for demohall.com. I'm going to scroll down to domains and to the zone editor. And now I'm going to add a record. I don't want an A, actually, I want to add a text record. So I'm going to go manage. Here's all the information for that zone. I'm going to add a text record. Now remember, because we can see here, it's in text. Also in our example for DMARC here, it's a text record in the zones. So we'll go here, and I'm going to add a text record. Okay, now the zone name is underscore DMARC. Now as soon as you hit tab, we'll go, you can have time to live. I'm just going to put, let's just put auto in there again. Oh, it should be a positive whole number. Okay, so this is a different kind of editor. Let's just put 1 minute in there. The type is text, and now the record is exactly what it was that we want to copy here. And in fact, I think in this case, the quotes are required. So we will paste that there, and we're going to save the record. Now, just let me just show you one thing. If you go add a record, the default here is A, and as soon as you go underscore DMARC, you're going to get a message that says an A record may not contain an underscore. That's all right, because when you get over here, change the type to text and then continue on and you'll be fine. But as you can see, down at the bottom, we have our DMARC for demo hall. And this is the zone that is active. This is where I'm running my DNS through the hosting, not through Cloudflare in this case. So now we can go back to our tool, DMARC lookup, and we check. And we check. And that is still not there. All right. These things are to be expected. Let's go edit. I'm going to take out the quotes and see if that makes a difference. Let's save. Oh, the time to TTL should be, value should be 14 mismatched. Oh, all right. Well, let's go 14400. All right. Let's save that. Maybe that's what the problem was. I leave these things in here because we're always running into problems and fiddly things, but there's no reason to give up. All right, let's go back to our MX tool and check. And there you go. Our DMARC is valid. Here it is. And that's working for that domain. So there's how to add it in Cloudflare and also how to add it in the zone editor in a cPanel. Now, I mentioned earlier that I would show you how you can set things so that you can have all these DMARC reports sent to one address on one domain. Because watch what happens here. If I go back and I change this zone here, I change the zone right here, okay? And we'll go down to the bottom. Let's say that I'm going to send, let's go to the raw here. Oh, sorry, cancel. Edit. Oh my goodness, what's going on here? Optional parameters. Oh, look. Oh, they're giving me a little thing to edit in here too. Okay, let's say I want to send my aggregate mail reports to webmaster@cybersalt.org. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing for failure reports. All right, now cybersalt.org is not demohall.com. So I save that. Now hopefully this will work because we have a long time to live here. I'm going to do the DMARC lookup. And now, yeah, it passes. But look, down in the test it says external domains in your DMARC are not giving permission for your reports to be sent to them. All right, so we have to do something. We have to add a record to the cybersalt.org where the records are saying, hey, I want DMARC reports sent to me for this domain. All right, so let's see how to do that. And I'm going to show you how to do it in two places. Now, I am running cybersalt.org DNS through Cloudflare. So let me show you first how to set that up in cPanel. Here's the cPanel for cybersalt.org. So not surprisingly, we're going to go to the domains section and the zone editor. And here's cybersalt.org. So I want to manage, and now I am going to create a text record, but it's going to be different than the one we just created. I'm going to go add a record, and let's say the zone name here is going to be this, demohall.com._report._DMARC. Now we get this A record warning, but that's okay because we're adding a text. So if I switch this to text, that is great. Now the next thing that we have to do is this, is add v, and this is the record, equals DMARC 1. All right, v equals DMARC 1, and we save. Now I could test, but that's not going to work because I do my DNS through Cloudflare. So now watch, and keep watching because I'll show you how you can adjust this slightly so it allows for all domains. All right, we go to Cloudflare where cybersalt.org is. Now you can see that I am running my DNS through Cloudflare here because I have some stats. We go to DNS, and now we're going to add a record. And the type we're going to add, it's a little bit different here, is a text record. Probably could just hit T here, but we'll add a text record. The name is this. All right, demohall.report_DMARC, and the content is v equals DMARC 1. Now, I'm going to save that zone there. There it is. And now we can go back to our MX Toolbox test and check the DMARC lookup. And look at that. Now, there is no exception here because we've set it up so that cybersalt.org is allowed to get DMARC records from demohall.com that are from that domain. Now, if I want to set it up so that webmaster@cybersalt.org can receive from another domain, I would then go in and add another text record. Just like this. We would go text, we would paste, but instead of demohall.com, I might do this. Another domain.org. And then, of course, I would do v equals DMARC1. And I would save that zone. And now webmaster@cybersalt.org, or actually cybersalt.org, would receive DMARC reports from another comain.org or demohall.com. If I want to have cybersalt.org receive DMARC reports from any domain, I would do this. First of all, let's go into here. Let's delete that zone. Delete. Why don't we just edit this? We'll go in here, and instead of having a domain, you basically are going to put star. And as you will see, basically that's saying is that cybersalt.org accepts DMARC reports from all domains. I'm going to take that out, by the way, so don't send yours to mine. And if we go back to the test, it still works. So you might not be sending 5,000 emails in a day yet, or maybe down the road the requirement's going to change, and maybe Gmail and Yahoo will say, hey, if you send more than 50 emails in a day, we really want to have this dialed in and you have to use DMARC. So set it up today. It takes a little bit of effort, but it's not that hard, and I hope that this was helpful. Subscribe for more videos. Until the next time, enjoy your Joomla sites, and God bless.